There is a lie we tell ourselves to sleep at night, that evil belongs to other people, to dictators, to psychopaths, to monsters in history books. We imagine cruelty has a certain face, a certain voice, a certain madness behind the eyes, but it doesn't. The most disturbing truth in psychology is this: evil rarely feels evil while you're doing it. It feels reasonable, it feels necessary, it feels justified, and that is what makes it powerful. Albert Bandura, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, asked a question that most people are too afraid to confront. If human beings develop moral standards, if we feel guilt when we violate them, if we want to see ourselves as good, then how do ordinary people commit extraordinary atrocities? How does a loving father enforce genocide? How does a religious man endorse torture? How does a compassionate citizen cheer for violence? The answer is not that they lack morality. The answer is that they learn how to disengage it. Morality is not a constant force inside you. It is conditional. It activates selectively. And the human mind is frighteningly skilled at flipping that switch. You don't destroy your conscience. You rewire the situation so your conscience doesn't apply. The first step is moral justification. You take something destructive and you wrap it in a higher purpose. You are not killing. You are protecting. You are not oppressing. You are preserving order. You are not silencing dissent. You are defending truth. Once harm is connected to a noble cause, it transforms. Violence becomes duty. Cruelty becomes righteousness. And the most dangerous people in history were not those who felt evil, but those who felt virtuous. Then comes language. Language is anesthesia for the conscience. We don't say civilians were burned alive. We say collateral damage. We don't say torture. We say enhanced interrogation. We don't say propaganda. We say strategic communication. The brain reacts differently to words than it does to reality. So change the vocabulary, and you change the moral response. But perhaps the most seductive mechanism is comparison. You don't measure your behavior against morality. You measure it against something worse. Yes, we did this, but look at them. Compared to a greater horror, your own actions feel restrained, controlled, almost merciful. When brutality is graded on a curve, everyone passes. Responsibility is another obstacle the mind removes. No one wants blood on their hands, so the system spreads it. I was following orders. It was company policy. The group decided. Responsibility becomes fragmented, diluted across hierarchies and committees and chains of command. And when everyone shares guilt, no one feels it deeply enough to stop. Modern power structures are built this way, not necessarily to create evil, but to make sure no single person feels fully responsible for it. And without personal responsibility, moral resistance collapses. Then there is distance. Morality is strongest when suffering is visible. A face triggers empathy. A scream activates conscience. But numbers do not, statistics do not, reports do not. If you hide the consequences, minimize the damage, or dispute the harm entirely, there is nothing for morality to respond to. Out of sight becomes out of mind, and out of mind becomes morally invisible. But the darkest mechanism of all is dehumanization. The moment someone is no longer fully human in your eyes, your empathy shuts down. They are not people. They are animals, vermin, parasites, threats. Once someone is outside your circle of humanity, moral rules no longer apply to them. Cruelty feels cleaner, simpler, even necessary. History's worst atrocities did not begin with violence. They began with language, with labels, with redefining who counts as human. Here's the part that should unsettle you. This process does not require you to be a monster. It requires you to feel justified. You can love your family and still rationalize harm. You can donate to charity and still dehumanize strangers. You can believe you are moral while participating in something deeply immoral. Because morality is not about what standards you claim to hold. It's about when you decide they apply. The terrifying truth is that the capacity for cruelty is not rare. It is universal. The same psychological mechanisms that allow societies to commit atrocities operate in workplaces, in politics, in online mobs, in relationships. Every time you say, "They deserved it," every time you say, "It's not my responsibility," every time you say, "It's for the greater good," you're rehearsing moral disengagement on a smaller scale, but the mechanism is the same. Evil does not announce itself. It disguises itself as necessity, as justice, as protection, as loyalty, and by the time you realize what you've justified, it already feels normal. That is the true danger. Not that humans are immoral, but that we are experts at convincing ourselves we are not.